Good morning. Yeah, I'm awake a lot of nights, so I've quite a lot I'd like to say, but some things I'm not going to say because I don't want to talk about them. But I just want to say one thing. Bertrand Russell said that those that sometimes those that torture themselves feel they have a right to torture everybody else. And that's very true. I remember writing about this a long time ago, saying pain is transferable, and that's before I ever understood everything. But Bertrand Russell is right. Sometimes people that are tortured feel they have a right to torture everybody else, and this is where justice comes in. Like universe, like people talk about stoic justice, but they never actually think about these concepts. Like what exactly is justice? What exactly is this? What exactly is that? They just regurgitate shite away and make it into an ethical doctrine. But it can't be an ethical doctrine. And Stoicism can't be an ethical doctrine because what it does is you're doing exactly what Stoicism is not all about. You're trying to control others. And that's what an ethical doctrine is, trying to impose your will and trying to control others. When you really then, what you're doing then is you're denying them the ability and the opportunity to develop their faculty of reason. And this is the whole problem with the fucking church. That they deny people the opportunity. Well, I suppose, you get people like me that says like, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? To make the rules like. And but if you but a lot of people, they don't develop this faculty of reason enough to be able to question these things, but then again, you get this Stoics want to come along then with modern Stoicism and try and make it into an ethical doctrine. In other words, like, here's the rule book, you live like this, you live like this. We don't give a fuck what your nature is, but this is how you live, kiss everybody's arse. But that's not justice. But they don't understand justice because, like, if you understand justice, I'll assure you one thing: the universe does to us what we do to others. Now, this I could elaborate on this, but this goes right out across down to lower animals and everything else. And the same things we do to them, the universe does to us. But the only thing is, we take a big victim mentality. Oh, why this, why that? Oh, poor me. But this is where Kant's categorical imperative comes in. Now, and I'm not big now. Now, I'll tell you straight up, I don't abide by Kant's categorical imperative, but that's because I am the hand of justice. It took me days to work out what I was doing here. I couldn't figure out what I was doing here, but there's no one here now, only me and the young lad. And let the games begin. What can I say, Let the games begin. When Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon, that was justice, because the Senate gave a fuck about nobody else, only themselves. That's all the Senate gave a fuck about, is their own pockets. And it's something like what we have now, like in a lot of states. I'm not going to fucking point any fingers, but I'm just saying. And all the Senate gave a fuck about, if they wanted someone's vineyard, they just went and took it. They went and took it. If they wanted, to tax the people and everything else while they lie back and drink wine and eat grapes and everything else, this is why Julius Caesar was the people's champion. But of course, everybody looks back now and poses their morality on it and say, "Oh, Jesus, Julius Caesar wasn't a stoic. He was a tyrant and a barbarian and a fucking this and a that and genocide and all the rest." But sure, this is coming from the same lads that's supposed to have changed their attitude to death and understand death and understand that death is a part of life, and then to come along and say about genocide and all the rest, like, completely contradictory, like. Completely contradictory. They're talking out their arse, basically. So I suppose that's sort of my role. I do the devil's advocate, because, like, I was saying the other day about I was telling you about the Higgs particle, and I was saying it's not a particle, it's a wave, it's vibration, it's sound. Sound was the beginning of creation. But really, what this is devil's advocate, because what it is the very same as Schrodinger's cat. I don't know if you know the story of Schrodinger's cat, but you can look it up. But basically, the story is it a wave, is it a particle? And it can't be defined. It's as either a wave or a particle. But what the hierarchical system is trying to do now is saying it's a particle, but it's not a particle. My argument is, if every bit is valid, it's a wave. And Schrodinger's cat will prove this. And doing he did out every equation, no matter what equation did it. The cat was dead, the cat was alive. But there was only the cat was only a metaphor. But basically, the whole thing is it a wave, is it a particle? But it's neither are well. Both are true, both are false. But to say that it's a particle is to just take Schrodinger's cat and say, here, we say it's a particle. But I'm telling you now, the argument that it's a wave is every bit as fucking valid. Like to try to establish fundamental truths that aren't true. But this is why I wrote the other day that the apple, what do you call that word? The metaphor, the apple in the Garden of Eden, that this was knowledge, because man creates knowledge. And then this becomes dogma, and then he thinks he knows everything, and then he can't learn anymore. But this is when the windows of your cognition close. So I don't know if anyone reads my philosophy, but basically my philosophy is giving them a bit of a kick in the bollocks and say, no, you're wrong. And I make a very valid argument why they're wrong. Well, no one has refuted. Not many have refuted him. Yeah. I have an odd debate. I'm not. I don't mind reasoning. I love to reason, but I was saying that the knowledge, the apple of knowledge is knowledge, the forbidden apple. But really, like when you think about the analogy, really what it is like is what's forbidden. What's forbidden? Drugs. That's where wisdom is now found in books, and that's why I was down to town yesterday. And I was out with toilet roll here, and I said to the universe, I said, will I buy toilet roll? He says, no, hold off on the toilet roll. I said, hold off on the toilet roll. He says, yeah, hold off on the toilet roll. And I said, grand. And then I said, buy yourself some fags. And I said, I don't want fags. And he said, you're going to need the fags. You're going to want the fags. And I said, I don't need the fags. And he said, well, you're going to want the fags. And I said, grand, I'll buy the fags. And I bought the fags. And now I see why. Well, I got no toilet roll and why I bought fags. The universe reveals itself, and all you have to do is pay attention, It's all you have to do. And the way to do this whole thing is to attach to nothing, detach from everything. Really, if you want to do this role, like you want to be in a situation, because of Kant's categorical imperative, which more or less, the universe does to you what you do to others. If you have nothing, you needn't give two fucks. You don't have money, you don't have anything to lose, and suffering, to me, as I say, this could be heaven, this could be hell. And in hell, everybody's suffering. But what is everybody doing now? Only suffering. But it's our own fucking choice. It's our own fucking creation, because of their fucking greed that made everybody fucking suffer. Everybody's fucking suffering because of how they think life should be. But I'm not suffering. I'm right at home here in hell. I can fucking do this shit all day long. I'm right at home in hell. Love it. And again, that's where the philosophy comes in. I remember one meme that had a dog sitting at the fire when the whole house was burning down, and the dog was just warming himself. This is grand. Philosophy and art. And the whole thing is not to try and control anybody. I'm not going to try and control anybody or anybody else. But I'll tell you now, you see, the whole reason ought to start with what you see in others, look for in yourself first. And that's two things to remember. What you see in others, look for in yourself first. And then the other one is, always remember that mind does what we do to others. And this is Kant's categorical imperative. But the only thing is, I don't give a fuck about that. As I said to someone the other day, I can't abide by that. I'm the hand of justice. I am the hand of justice. I don't give a fuck about the consequences. I'll suffer them, I'll suffer them. And this is my problem with Kant's categorical imperative, that if everybody's afraid to suffer because of what they do to others, so everybody goes around licking everybody's arse, no one's living according to their nature, you know what I mean? And then they're fucking miserable, and then they make other people miserable, and the next thing, everyone's fucking miserable. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Nay. But the whole thing is that we have a choice in this. But the whole thing must start with introspection, not projection. And sometimes when I look at others, I don't see myself. I see the exact opposite. I see the exact opposite of me. but then again, like, you know, polarity changes in me, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's every person, but then we have the binary opposites, you know, that some people are inherently evil and some people are inherently good and all the rest. But you can change your nature. You can change your values in relation to your nature. Like, because like there's nothing I do that I don't fucking think about. Like I ate all his food last night. Every fucking bit of it. But that's because fucking, well, it's not because of anything. Like it was no, the just man uses reason. Like he came in Christmas Eve and just helped himself to my food away in front of my face. And it's sort of as a fuck you, you know what I mean? I just sat there and said, I couldn't give two fucks. You know what I mean? I couldn't give two fucks. It's just food. I didn't give two fucks. But then last night, like, Dr. Jekyll came out and he ate all his food, yeah. And I've absolutely no remorse in that regard whatsoever. And as I say, let begin. And then I got up this morning and used the last toilet paper. So it's going to get good around here. Which maybe it won't, like, you know, there only has to be change, but there has to be introspection. He has to see himself. He has to see himself in me, you know. Good morning. Talk to you tomorrow.